Iceland is an isolated country, way out here by itself in the North Atlantic Ocean. Greenland is only 280 kilometers away, but hardly anyone lives there. The Faroe Islands are 400 kilometers away, but they have a small population as well. The rest of Europe is way over there. This isolation is one of the factors that makes the Icelandic language what it is today, a conservative language that has remained relatively unchanged for the past 1,000 years. Not unchanged, but relatively unchanged. Icelandic is the official language of Iceland, where the vast majority of its roughly 330,000 native speakers live. That's a very small number of people, not to mention that the majority of people live in the capital, Reykjavik, and its surrounding areas, and 99% of the people live in cities. As a result, there's very little dialectal variation in Icelandic. It's pretty much the same everywhere. Here's a sample of what it sounds like.
Jæja, þetta taka nummer 2. Þannig að ég ætla að byrja á því aftur að tala smá í byrjun. Ég geti lýst hverfinu sem ég bý í núna. Ég bý í París í augnablikinu og ég bý í 12. hverfi sem mjög fínt með mörgum veitingastöðum en ekkert of túristalegt. Þannig að það bara fínt. Við höfum ágætan aðgang að neðarlistinni, þannig að það fínt. En já, nú ætlum ég að byrja á listanum.
It's a North Germanic language, alongside Faroese, Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish. Icelandic, Faroese, and Norwegian form the Western branch of North Germanic languages. The Western branch developed from the Western dialect of Old Norse, Old West Norse, while the Eastern branch developed from the Eastern dialect of Old Norse, Old East Norse. Iceland has its roots in the arrival of Vikings, mainly from Western Scandinavia, who spoke the Western dialect of Old Norse. They began settling there in the late 9th century. The earliest piece of writing in Old Icelandic dates to the early 12th century, and in the 13th and 14th centuries, the Icelandic sagas were recorded, documenting Iceland's early history. The sagas are thought to have been memorized and retold for generations before eventually being recorded, maintaining the older form of the language. Old Icelandic was Old Norse, a variety of Old West Norse. It's often said that Icelandic is the closest North Germanic language to Old Norse, at least in writing. The pronunciation has changed a fair bit. Icelanders today can still read the Old Icelandic sagas with relative ease, but reading them out loud would sound different from Old Icelandic. The word relative is important here, of course, because Icelanders can't read Old Icelandic effortlessly. I've been told the experience is like an English speaker reading Shakespeare.